Good day, everyone. My name is Navneet Anand from Voice Article, local and global. Today on Voice of Cricket, me and Saurabh have requested Mr. Simon Taufel to be as our special guest. Mr. Taufel, welcome to the show.
Navneet, great to be with you.
India-England Test Series, I think 1-1 at the moment. Let the best team win the final series. What's your views on that?
Well, again, India are not relenting in their provision of excitement for fans and viewers of the game. They're still producing another wonderful Test match series, this time in the UK. You know, it's been a fascinating seesaw series. It's going to go down to the wire probably, and we're really looking forward to the next Test match, I'm sure.
So, Saurabh, what do you think? India losing this third Test match, what went wrong with the Indian team?
I think first of all, I would like to say thanks to Simon for joining us, and I am fortunate to sharing the screen with you. Yeah, and looking forward to your inputs. One of the best umpire we have ever seen in world cricket. So I think when we talk about India, England, I think more than bowling, India's batting is letting them down. So I would say they need to do some changes either in the batting, or they need to, I don't know, practice a bit more to cover the swing which they are facing at the moment.
Now, Simon, coming back to you, Test series is actually the right test of the game, because that's where we check the patience of the bowler, the batsman, as well as the fielder at the same time.
Absolutely. Look, I think, again, like the umpires and the players, we all aspire to participating in Test match cricket. And I think it's the purest form of the game that actually shows a lot of those wonderful traits that we want to see in cricketers. We want to see patience. We want to see grit and fight. We also love the swings and the ebbs and the flows of who's on top and, you know, really coming back. And sometimes an exciting close draw can be just as watchable as a victory. I think we don't want to see a result in 3 days. We like to see Test matches go into the 5th day, and we like to see the pace bowlers on top early on in the game, and we like to see the spinners coming in, and we'd like to see the middle order really capitalise on some wonderful opening partnerships. Having spent a lot of my umpiring career, and in fact, I think I did my most number of Test matches in the UK, it is a very testing environment. There's no question about it. And the swinging ball and the movement off the seam do present a lot of challenges for the batsman. But one thing I'd really like your viewers to connect with is that, you know, in cricket, things are never as good as they seem, and they're never as bad as they seem. And I think having praised India so well for their performance in the last Test, we really can't be as hard on them when they do, you know, fall over in the most recent game. I think we need to understand that, you know, sport is fickle, and I think the biggest challenge for India going forward is probably they can't win a Test match in a session, but they can certainly lose a Test match in a session. And the things that are standing up for me at the moment is how they've been bowled out for 78, or they've lost 6 for 80 odd, or 8 for 60 odd, I should say. Yeah. And when in the last Australian series here, they were bowled out, I think, for 42. So I think there's an element of sort of just trying to consolidate after they lose a couple of wickets. That type of team grit and fight that's really important, because there's no doubt they are full of match winners. There's no doubt they're full of talent. Their ability to fight against the swinging ball is really what's, you know, I think under question here. And that's something that they're just going to have to come to terms with. But they will lose on occasion, like every other team, 2 or 3 quick wickets, and they've really got to learn how to consolidate and just fight out a session so that doesn't mean that they lose the match.
Saurabh, coming over to you, do you see any changes happening with the Indian team in the 4th Test that's happening at the Oval in London?
I think it's time to bring Ashwin in. So I'm expecting him to play, especially he did play in the same ground a month ago against one of the county team for Surrey, and he took 5 or 6 wickets. So I think he's due for a chance, and I'm expecting him in the place of Ishant Sharma. And if Jadeja, who's struggling for match fitness, if he's not fit, then definitely Ashwin coming, and India can bring Shardul Thakur in place of Ishant Sharma then.
And the England team?
England, the biggest news from England is Chris Wokes is back and fully fit. So he can replace Sam Curran if he's if he's got enough match practice. And then the other news is Joss Butler. He's out of the 4 test. And Johnny Bairstow going to take over the gloves, and they can bring another batsman, which is a big positive for England. Joss was struggling already in the series. So now England team is looking much, much, much stronger.
Simon, you have traveled all around the world and have seen Indian team playing at different locations as well. For the last few matches, what we could gather that Rahane and Virat Kohli are not able to produce what they are capable of producing.
Oh, look, there's no question that they are class players, and, form is temporary, class is permanent, and they will bounce back. I only go back to the recent Border Gavaskar series in Australia where India were able to win without Virat Kohli, and able to fight really hard and to take that series out on the last day in Brisbane. And you spoke of Ravi Ashwin. I'm a big fan of Ravi Ashwin's ability, and when you look at his, again, class of getting out top-class batsmen like Stephen Smith. And I think it was Ravi Ashwin who was instrumental in probably helping to win that series by dismissing Smith so many times. That's what I think India need against Joe Root. They need someone to really target Joe Root and to attack the captain to be able to affect the confidence of the whole side. And you'll find that whenever Root is on top, generally speaking, England are on top, particularly obviously with the bat. And I think Ravi Ashwin is an absolute must to come into the side. He is a class bowler. He has this ability to work out top-class batsmen, and I think that's what we'd like to see.
Looking at the pitches for India, England, and Australia, there are 3 different environments that we have all around. But what do you think the pitches in London is going to be in favour of in the next 4 Test match?
Well, the Oval is one of my favourite grounds as a cricket umpire. It's normally a great cricket wicket. It's a great pitch for batsmen and bowlers. If you play your strokes confidently and you play through the line, then generally speaking, it's really good. It has tremendous pace and bounce and carry. And for that reason, it's an absolute pleasure to umpire on. And I think as a player, you can back yourself. And if you're good enough, you'll take wickets. And if you're good enough, you'll score runs.
Yeah.
Again, I think the challenge is going to be the swing, not the movement off the seam so much, but the swing and how they cope with people like Jimmy Anderson. And look, he is a world-class player. And I think it's that new ball. They've got to be able to cope with the late swing, not the predictable swing, but the late swing, and that ability to choose the right balls to let go. And I think if we go back to what I was saying before about losing lots of wickets in a session, it's about shot selection and really being confident to let the right ball go and not go chasing the ball unnecessarily.
Saurabh, looking at the teams coming in another 2 days, what do you think who would be the 2 favorites out of each team?
I still think on papers, India is looking favorite to win the series. Although they had 2 bad sessions in the last Test match, one in the first inning and then one in the second inning, where they were 215 for 2 and then they lost last 8 wickets for 60 odd, like Simon said. So if you look at batting, so far it's Joe Root's show for England. Although their openers did perform well in the 3rd Test match, looks like India still a little ahead of England, and whoever wins the next match will win the series for me, I think.
Let the best team win the series. But before I proceed, I just wanted to congratulate Mr. Simon Taufel for his new book, Finding the Gaps, that is already on the shelves. Tell us more about the books in brief.
Look, very simply, it's a book about what I've learned through my cricketing experiences, how to get to the top, how to stay there, and looking at those transferable skills like teamwork, resilience, goal setting, being able to cope with pressure, and really put that in a language that a lot of people can understand and really apply to what they do. And using the cricketing examples and talking about some of the best players and some of the most interesting examples that I've seen from around the world. And there's a chapter in there about the Lahore terrorist attack and how we got through that. So we would really like people to understand that cricket umpires are people too. We are the 3rd team in the game. We get to see every ball and we get to feel it and experience it and learn from it. And I really find it unique today that here we have a cricket umpire probably commentating on cricket for probably the first time when, you know, a lot of coaches and a lot of other people don't really tap into the people that actually see the players at close quarters and they watch every ball with intent interest. So it's fascinating to be able to have an umpire here commentating on the game of cricket and the players.
If me and Saurabh has to order this book today, where can we find it?
If you're in Australia, probably the best place to order it is from the Bradman Museum, the Hall of Fame, if they go to bradman.com.au, or if they want to order it online through bookdepository.com, if they want a Kindle version or a different hard copy, that's fine. But if you want one that's been signed by myself, go to the bradman.com.au site, look at the bookstore, and you can order it through there.
We
Great.
both are looking forward to read through it. And Saurabh, before I wrap up, what are the final words from you?
I would love to see India fighting back. Let's hope this was one of innings from England or from India where they couldn't perform. So let's hope India give their best like they have been doing for last 12 to 24 months. Let's have a cracking match, like Simon said, one of the best pitch in England. You can score, you can take wickets. It's an absolutely beautiful ground, oval in London. So let's hope for a cracking match. Let's hope it lasts for 5 days and we have a result by end of day 5.
And the final one, Simon, your message to all the cricket lovers.
Well, there's no doubt that we've got two class teams playing in this test match coming up. You know, England are on top. They'll be very confident after, you know, getting beaten quite resoundingly. And no doubt India, who are a class side, will come back stronger, harder and wiser for the experience. For me, India just need to play intelligently. They need to be very patient with their batting and they really need to be very attacking with the ball as well. I think if Ravi Ashwin does come in, there'll be a much more balanced side in that way. But I'm really looking forward to an exciting game and I'd love the fans to get behind India and not be too hard on them.
Saurabh, thank you so much for coming once again on Voice of Cricket, and my sincere thanks to Mr. Simon Taufel once again for sparing some time out of your busy schedule. Thank you so much. Over and out. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
One-stop answer to your Australian education and visa matters. Gemco Sydney. Dream big, achieve big.
Fiji Times. Be with the times.
For all your finance needs, contact Unique Mortgage Services. Log on to uniquemortgages.com.au.